We are back in session and we are ready for Mr. Whitaker. Good morning. Would you introduce yourself to the board? Tell us your name and your DOC number, please.
My name is Robert Whitaker, 110818. Good morning.
All right, Mr. Whitaker, you've been through this process before, haven't you?
My first time, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, let me tell you how it's going to work. I'll read some identifying information into the record, after which I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman, seated to my far right. Your case has been assigned to him. He'll take the lead on the interview. We'll hear from the warden for his input. And you have a guest there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Bonnie Whitaker.
Okay, and I'm assuming you want to speak on his behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll call on you at the appropriate time to do so.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. And we have also joining us is Norris Henderson by Zoom, where he wants to speak as well. So, Mr. Whitaker, as stated, your DOC number is 110818. You're seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in the 19th Judicial District, East Baton Rouge Parish, in August of 1985 to a life sentence for a second-degree murder conviction. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
All right. Would you answer Mr. Freeman, please?
Okay, Mr. Whitaker. How old are you?
64, sir.
Okay, and how long have you been in prison on this charge?
39 years and about 7 months. 6
Okay.
months, something like
What's your educational level, Mr. Whitaker?
high school and about a year of college, and I just completed some college paralegal through Blackstone Paralegal Career Institute course. I just finished that.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you were charged with, Mr. Whitaker, and what happened?
I'm charged with the crime, sir, for taking the life of my victim. First and foremost, I'd like to offer an apology to the board and acknowledge that I'm sorry about the incident. Give me a minute, please. I'd just like to, for the record, reflect, sir, that I apologize to the board. And excuse my breakdown, but it's a very remorseful matter. I am remorseful for the crime. I committed the crime, sir. I'm sorry for it. And I'd like to offer an apology to the family as well. And it's an incident behind us, sir. I'd like to move forward and be able to show that to the board.
Okay. So you are admitting to the crime. Were you on drugs, alcohol at the time?
No, sir, I was not.
Was this what caused you to commit the crime? I know you had a job and stuff. I saw that.
Yes, it's just a domestic disagreement, sir. Just something that got out of hand, and I guess I kind of lost it, sir, and I regret it. I do. I really truly do.
Did you know the victim prior to the incident?
Somewhat, sir. I just was at the time I was working for a car dealership, and I was consigned an automobile for the individual that he asked me to look at his vehicle. I guess it's a matter of a disagreement, and then I don't know quite every specific detail, but just with a disagreement or something, obviously I got upset about something.
You don't remember what you got upset about?
It probably was the money or something, sir. I think it may have been, could have been about the money.
What did you do with the money with the checks that you cashed? I think you cashed $2,300 worth of check on the victim's accounts.
probably wasted, I probably did. I'm pretty sure I didn't put it to no good use, I'll assure you that.
And you also use his credit cards to buy some things, correct?
Yes, sir.
Um, have you ever been on supervision before, Mr. Whitaker?
Years ago, sir, I think it was a matter for unauthorized use of move or something, joyriding of a vehicle years ago. I think it was a probation or something, I think it was.
Do you have quite a lengthy rap sheet, but wasn't many violent offenses. Matter of fact, I think this was your only violent arrest, correct?
Correct, sir.
And you claim you never had a drug problem, because there's a lot of forgery charges on there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I see you taking quite a bit of classes. What have you learned from the classes you've taken?
Oh, sir, basically everything to help to make me a better person and grow up and try to become more knowledgeable in the world around me. I learned and discovered at an early age, and especially with almost nearly 40 years served, that I had some issues I needed to re-educate myself and get involved, and I just started participating. I figured that the opportunity to educate myself would give me an opportunity to one day, maybe to better my chances for wherever my destiny was. But I was always a person that wanted to learn and become knowledgeable about some things.
Well, what was your favorite class that you taken?
History, and I had some love for some math too, but mainly history.
No, what about anger management? Taking
Oh, yeah.
anger.
Yes, sir, I've taken anger management, and that was something because I had anger issues, earlier, a long time ago, but I learned through the program participation here to decipher that, by finding control and rendering the understanding that when things get out of hand like that, I had to learn to try to step back, consult with somebody that was trained and able to provide me with the information or counseling that I needed. So it was very beneficial to me.
What about victim awareness? What did you learn from victim awareness? And what would you say to the victim and his family if you had a chance?
I would say first and foremost that I regret it. I'm very, very sorry about what transpired and developed. The mere fact that what I did was not right. The victim had right as well, and it should have been a better control or understanding in regards to dispute for resolution, in regards to addressing matters. So that helped me a great deal and understand that to avoid that type of predicament is the best way to get some understanding and to make peace.
Yeah, I also see that you took a parenting class. Do you have any children?
No, sir, I don't have any.
You just took the class because you wanted to take it, or why would you take that class?
To learn about children. In the event if I was to become a father or a step parent, then I would want to be able to know how to go about as a step parent or an actual parent myself.
Okay. I see your last write-up was 2004. You didn't have, you have 19 write-ups, which is very good for 30 years in prison. Have you done any community service around the prison?
Yes, sir, I've done, a host of, sandbagging, worked at the cemetery, cleanup crew, detail. I've done some work at the military, National Guard base, working out there, cleaning up and so forth, just basically whatever was needed. With the classification status I had, I just always believed in giving back. To me, it was a form of giving back. And the best way to do that is just volunteer.
Okay, and what about clubs? You belong to any clubs in the prison?
I used to be with the health and fitness here, the Lifers Club a while back. The COVID set in, sir, some years ago and kind of like, shut things down momentarily. So with my job kept me pretty busy, but currently I work in the legal aid program. So that kind of like count for most of the time I did in working with people and working with the cases and so forth, trying to develop and get an understanding, helping people.
Warden, what do you have to say about Mr. Whitaker?
Well, like his record indicates, he's taken a lot of courses, a lot of classes. He hasn't had a write-up in several years. He works as a legal aid. He does a good job. He's no problem here with us.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Mirabella?
Mr. Whitaker, you have several letters of commutation for your work with the disciplinary court. And you mentioned it just a few moments ago that you work, that's your job. Tell us a little bit about that. How long have you done that?
Well, actually today, sir, being this a hearing, I'm grateful to be here. Today makes 16 years that I have had this assignment here in Hunt as a legal aid assistant. I'm a legal aid, legal aid support 3. That's the title that I have within the institution. I've helped over 289 guys win their freedom back from actually lifers, practical lifers, multi-bills, amended, modified, different convictions and so forth. Just went to work and learning about the development with the government, with the laws and so forth, and feel that if I'm going to be able to do this, I like to get a relationship with it and try to make this practice pay off for itself in regards to addressing concerns legally. But I love what I do. The disciplinary department is basically helping guys to adjust with the administrative law part, but due process and understand their institutional rights, dealing with disciplinary infractions and so forth like that, but mainly just basically what it is. But as far as working with the judicial state court and so forth, it's been a practice to work with those guys and blessing from God so forth that they help those guys get their freedom.
And amongst your certificates that I looked at, one was a facilitator for the pre-release program. What do you do? What does that entail?
I basically learned from the facilitator of the program at the time that we basically just help out with the information to help guys transition back into their future, chance of going back home one day, dealt with housing, finances, budgeting, banking, renting, things like that of that nature. So we was trained as facilitators to help get these guys to understand the responsibility that they were going to have once they make that transition. So basically it was just like a step in the right direction and being able to be a second voice behind the facilitator of the program to help get these guys to understand the importance of their own responsibility, which actually applies to me as well too, sir.
Thank you. That's
All right, thank you. I don't see any other questions, so we would like to hear from Mr. Henderson.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I've been knowing Robert for 39 years, and along the line of question Mr. Marabella was asking, Robert was inmate counsel before he got to us. His inmate counsel while he was at Angola. We worked.
We lost the audio. Did you get muted?
Yes, I'm back now. Club wise, he was a part of the JCs, the Lifer Club in Angola. He's also part of AABA, was our amateur boxing association, where he was responsible for the ring crew to make certain that the the ring got put up and the ring got took down. Never had a problem with that. And I'm just, again, just impressed about how steadfast he has been. Most of the time, people leave Angola to be disgruntled because, Angola is a different world. And when they wind up in a satellite, but he has stayed the course. Most times there's just kind of adjustment from being there to getting to a satellite where the rules are a little more stringent, kind of like to say the least. But he's done well, and he's prepared himself from the beginning. Like you said again, he started this course when he didn't have no options of doing anything. And the fact that he waited so long to apply for clemency was primarily because during the early 80s, early 90s, when life had to do at least 15 years before they can apply for clemency, everybody was afraid to go in front of the board because if they failed, they kind of like resigned themselves to having to wait 7 years before they could apply again. And so the uptick in pardon applications really came under this administration because everybody felt that maybe this may be the opportunity that I get a chance to get out of prison. Robert has done, I was looking at some of the other things, and again, he was a part of self-help groups when it wasn't even popular to do the things that he had been doing for himself. I was a part of his wedding when him and Bonnie got married, and been friends with him ever since. And so I'm here today to kind of like extend whatever support that he needs. We actually have a chapter in Baton Rouge that we can actually help him, and in the event that the board gives him a recommendation and the governor signs it, we can actually create employment for Robert also doing with his paralegal skills that he has. So I would, ask the board to give him a favorable recommendation, and hopefully before the governor leaves, we can get it signed. Thank you.
Great, well, thank you. Ms. Bonnie, we'd like to hear from you now, please.
Good morning, my name is Bonnie Whitaker. I'm the wife of Robert Whitaker. We've been together. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We've been together 29 years. And we met at Angola Prison Rodeo. We met at Angola Prison Rodeo. He's a legal aid here at Hunts Prison. He's helped over 289 inmates for their freedom. And he attended Blackstone College where he got his paralegal degree. And I'm going to help him transition back into society. And help him transition back into society and help him get a job and help him further his education. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. And so, Mr. Whitaker, 45, is there anything you'd like to say to us before we vote?
I'm ready to go home. No, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for granting me this opportunity. Everything, and I thank Mr. Norris Henderson too, for stepping in at the time and providing. But really more so, I just want to say that my development and growth is because of the need to change. My will is also to step up to the plate and acknowledge about my guilt in the situation is to be truthful. I did not want to go to the grave and have this on my conscience, knowing the wrong that I have done. So to me, it was huge, whether I have the board with me or not. But because of that, I'm grateful to that and to this opportunity. I'm grateful to the support that I have that came today to share this with me. And the mere fact that I can say this, that I'm just asking for this chance, and hopefully, it would be reside with the board to consider me for the second chance, and hopefully something that will favor, give me an opportunity to start over.
That's it, thank you. I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Whitaker. I feel that you've done a lot of time. I think you've done a lot of things while you've been in prison, a lot of good things. And my vote today would be to grant with, your application and commute your sentence to 80 years.
Mrs. Jackson?
All right, Mr. Whitaker, I enjoyed your interview. My vote likewise is the same, recommended commutation to the government for 80 years.
Mr. Marabella?
Mr. Whitaker, my vote would be the same. You're a low risk. You've got good support. You've got a good transition plan. You've got good comments from the warden. And you've got a very good prison record. So my vote likewise would be to recommend the governor to commute your sentence to 80 years.
All right, my vote is the same. So you've received the unanimous vote that your sentence be commuted to 80 years, and on your behalf, we'll make that recommendation to the governor. Good luck to you.
Okay.